across the way. He played with the Athletics for a time. And so the Powder Blues are out. Kelly Gruber's in the building, and the Blue Jays lead the American League East with an 8-3 record. Rance Mullenix is back with us as we look at David Percy deep in thought as he makes his third start of the season. What do you hope to get from Percy tonight, Rance?
Command can oftentimes be an issue for him, so you hope, number one, tonight that he throws strikes. When he does that, he's very effective. You can see in 11 2/3, nine walks, 6 of those in his last start. Hopefully he'll return to form this evening.
Well, the Blue Jays have been pounding the ball in the last 2 games, scoring 21 runs against the Minnesota Twins. Is that the influence of Cito Gaston and Gene Tennis?
Yes, when the change was made last year, they brought a different philosophy, and we've talked about that a lot. And that's just a carryover this year. I think the players have had plenty of time to buy into it, and now it's paying off.
What a night last night for the Blue Jays. Roy Halladay was exceptional against the Twins, picking up his 3rd win of the year, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and getting the Twins in order in the 5th after getting the first 2 on base through 11 games. And remember, the pitching wasn't supposed to be that good with all the inexperienced arms, but so far, good outings by Ricky Romero, another good outing from Scott Richmond in his start against the Twins on Wednesday. And combine that with the bats, and the Blue Jays are playing some pretty good baseball. So let's see if David Percy can keep the line going. Let's get a scouting report on the left-hander.
David Percy, a young man with a fine arm, has a fastball that will touch 94, a very good curveball, and a change to go along with it. And the key for him tonight will be control.
No question there. He walked 6 in a cold Cleveland game on Sunday. And now we take a look at how the Blue Jays will set up defensively against the A's tonight.
Bautista in left, Wells in center, Rios in right, Roland at third, Scutaro at short, the very hot Aaron Hill at second base, Millar at first, and Barrett doing the catching, and the hard-throwing David Percy on the mound.
Nice to see the Powder Blues back on Flashback Friday. This is the 2nd time around for the Jays wearing these retro jerseys. Debuted last year as Ted Barrett is behind home plate tonight, calling the balls and strikes. There's a look at the umpiring crew with the veteran Tim McClelland at third. He's the crew chief. In the last 6 meetings between these clubs, the Blue Jays have excelled, going 6-0. And they've averaged 5.8 runs per game and pitched well, a 1.67 ERA. So at the end of last year, the Blue Jays had the A's number. Ryan Sweeney, the center fielder, steps in. Here's Percy with the first pitch. And we're playing some baseball tonight at Rogers Center. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jamie Campbell with Rance Mullenix. Quickly 2-0 from Percy against Sweeney, who's hitting .244. The Oakland A's have as many home runs as Marco Scutaro, a grand total of just 3. So this is not a team that's hit for power early on. There's a strike from Percy. It's 2-1.
Important for David Percy to jump ahead in the count. The Oakland A's, traditionally the type of ball club that wants to try to work the count, take a lot of pitches, so try and take advantage of that.
Now, due to the injury to Jesse Litch, Brian Tallett starts tomorrow, and he'll be on a pitch count somewhere between 70 and 75 pitches. So the skipper, Cito Gaston, said before the game, it's imperative that Percy go as deep into this game as he can. Tallett watches from the dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ryan Sweeney. Here's the pitch, down low, 3-2. Percy's about to turn 27 years of age. He'll do that on Wednesday. And Sweeney fouls it back. There are two rookies in the Blue Jays rotation, Ricky Romero and Scott Richmond. Due to the number of innings that Percy pitched last year, he does not qualify, but you might as well call him a rookie. Here's another 3-2 pitch, and he jams him. It's fouled away.
Cito Gaston, of course, knows tomorrow afternoon he's going to have to go to his bullpen, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of the fourth, hopefully the fifth inning. So as you mentioned, it's very important that David Percy go deep into the ball game this evening.
That ball is up. It's ball 4, and Percy has walked the first man of the evening.
And a little surprising 3-2. Percy chose to go with a breaking ball and left it up high and out of the zone. It's tough to walk the leadoff hitter 3-2 with a breaking ball.
So that brings up Orlando Cabrera, the A's shortstop, who was signed in the early part of March. Kind of a late addition to the A's roster, and there's strike one on Cabrera. Percy needed 7 pitches to issue the free pass to Sweeney. A good illustration as to why getting a first pitch strike is so important.
As I mentioned earlier, it's always important, but even more so with a team like the A's, who will try to work the count.
He runs it inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Cabrera.
Cabrera, a pretty good contact hitter. Guy that you can hit and run with if you get the count in your favor.
Nobody out here, just underway. Sweeney at first. And ball 2 issued by David Percy.
Yeah, these Oakland A's made a pretty good deal in the offseason. They have the man at the plate, Orlando Cabrera, and Garcia Parr for just a total of $5 million. And Orlando Cabrera, a very, very fine player.
Here's a look over at first. Cabrera, to be honest, was a fallback position for the A's because initially they had offered 4 years to Rafael Furcal, who came awfully close to signing with them. But Furcal tap danced with the A's, tap danced with the Braves, and finally got a good deal from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they get Cabrera for 1 year. He's up hitting second. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's pitch number 12 of the inning, and it's strike 2. Two-two pitch, and it's sent to center field on a line. Vernon Wells watches as it falls in front of Rios. Sweeney stretches for third, and Cabrera gets a base hit. First and third for the A's.
Pretty good job of hitting. The ball jams him a little bit, but he's able to dump it into the outfield. But a very nice piece of base running by Ryan Sweeney to read this as a hit all the way and to be able to move all the way over to third base.
Cabrera's over there, awfully chatty with Kevin Millar. Here's Jason Giambi, who loves hitting in this stadium. Back with the Oakland A's, the team that brought him up to the big leagues. 22 home runs for Giambi at Rogers Center. That's the most in a stadium other than the stadiums he's called home in his career, Yankee Stadium and the Coliseum in Oakland. Two men on and nobody out, and it's fouled straight back by the fair to say Giambi never really clicked as a New York Yankee. He was not able to lead them to a World Series title while there, although they did appear in the '03 Fall Classic during his time with New York. And he holds back there. There's the appeal to third base umpire Tim McClelland, and from his vantage point, Giambi didn't go around. So the count on Giambi, 2 balls and a strike.
And for the third time in as many hitters, David Percy finds himself behind in the count.
He sets and fires, 3-1. Rance, do you get the impression that the A's are up there just waiting him out a little bit?
They are. And a situation here now, 3-1. Giambi can be very selective.
He selects to swing, and he pops it up over in foul ground. Rolen is over, and he makes the basket catch, brings it in quickly. And Giambi's retired with the first out.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he? That was not an easy play. Had a long way to go. Had to deal with the wall, and then a Willie Mays type basket catch. Quickly gets the ball back in, prevents Sweeney from scoring, and does not allow Cabrera to move up to second base. Kept the double play in order.
So perhaps Percy can get a quick inning here, because with 1 down, Matt Holliday, the left fielder, comes to the plate. A dangerous hitter, no question. First and third for the Oakland A's. 5 years in Colorado for Holliday. He was acquired on November 12th for pitcher Greg Smith and Houston Street, as well as a good young outfielder by the name of Carlos Gonzalez. And the A's are content to really only have Holliday for this season. He's in the second year of a 2-year deal he had signed with the Rockies, so he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. And he might find himself trade bait if the A's find themselves out of the race by the middle of the summer. First pitch to Holliday. Low and inside, ball 1. The A's have Sweeney at third after he walked and advanced on Cabrera's single. Strike 1 called. That evens the count on Holliday. That looked good, but it's called ball 2.
Just off the plate inside. Matt Holliday, of course, big numbers in Colorado. And there are those that have questioned that a little bit, saying that it'd be interesting to see how he does playing in a ballpark such as Oakland, where the ball doesn't carry well at night. You have a lot of foul territory, which costs you a lot of at-bats. But I don't see Holliday having any problem. I think he is just one of the premier hitters in baseball. I expect him to put up big numbers.
Pitch on the way, and he swings at it. 2-2. If he stays off it, it's 3-1. Cito Gaston can't be pleased with the fact that Percy has thrown 22 pitches to this point. He sets for the 2-2. Here it comes. And Holliday doesn't bite on that one. So it's a full count.
By running it to a 3-2 count, now if you're the Oakland A's, you can start Cabrera off of first base, 3-2, to try to stay out of a potential double play. The 2-2 pitch was a big one. Now the A's have some options.
Percy adjusting his grip in the glove. Here it comes. Runner goes. It's on the ground to third. One play to first. The A's take the lead as Sweeney trots home, and the second out is recorded at first.
Three-two pitch. He puts in the play, or Cabrera off of first base running on the 3-2 count. I don't know that they'd have been able to turn a double play there. The ball was not hit real hard. But it also allowed Cabrera now to move into scoring position.
There's the curveball that Percy throws so effectively, and it gets him ahead of Nomar Garcia-Parra. Oakland is Nomar's fourth team in 14 years in the big leagues. He's now in the twilight of his career and was looking for work through a good portion of the winter. Signed late with the A's. A 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed.
Good sharp breaking ball from David Percy. Probably the best one that he has thrown so far in this ball game tonight.
One and two, and here it comes from Percy. Swung on and missed. He gets the strikeout of Garcia-Parra. Throws 28 pitches in the inning as the A's manufacture a run. So off to the bottom half, Marco Scutaro leads off for the Blue Jays. As you probably know by now, is seeing the ball well. He'll follow the leadoff man, and the Blue Jays tonight face a left-hander who just made his big league debut early last September. Number 55 on the hill for the A's in Josh Outman, an aptly named pitcher for the Oakland A's. Let's see if he can get some outs.
Making his 6th career start this evening.
He opens with strike one against Marco Scutaro. Scutaro has successfully reached base in all 11 games the Blue Jays have played this season. And he whacks the ball to left field. You can kiss that one goodbye. A team-leading 4th home run for Marco Scutaro.
Outman trying to get the fastball in and leaves it out over the plate just a little bit, and Marco Scutaro makes him pay.
The red-hot Aaron Hill follows with a base hit to left field. So 3 pitches into the game, and Outman's given up a home run and a single against the red-hot Blue Jays.
Already tonight we see the difference in philosophy. Outman's thrown 3 pitches. 2 of them have been hit, 1 of them out of the ballpark. Ball club very aggressive, not trying to work the count, take pitches. They get a pitch that they like, they're letting it go.
Boy, that gets this crowd back in the ball game in a hurry. Scutaro with his 3rd career leadoff home run, 4th of the year. And here's Alex Rios, who is due. He hasn't gone deep yet. He grounds the ball to short, picked up by Cabrera, and they complete the 6-4-3 double play.
Nice job by Outman to not get excited, just keep trying to make a quality pitch. He does. The result, a double play. Nice turn by Mark Ellis, the second baseman, to complete it.
Still a little shake of the head from Outman, who now knows what it's like to run into this Blue Jay offense. They are sizzling right now. Nobody on for Vernon Wells. Hitting .340. Vernon looks at strike 1.
Thought Vernon had a very good comment in the paper today. He said, with the way we score runs and the type of defense that we have, if you're a young pitcher, just throw strikes. Make the other team put it in play. Let the defense work for you.
He might want to go over and whisper that in David Percy's ear. Percy only gave up the run, but he needed 28 pitches to labor through the half inning. That's low. 2-1 on Wells, who currently rides a 7-game hit streak. He was 2 for 4 last night with a couple of singles and a run scored. Here's Outman, down low, 3-1. How do you like the look on Outman? He's got the socks high, the stirrups showing. He looks like he's pitching in 1975. The 3-1 offering to Wells, ball 4. Vernon draws a base on ball as Adam Lind comes to the plate. He's just 24 years of age, hails from St. Louis, Missouri. He was drafted by the Phillies in '05, but was acquired by the A's in the Joe Blanton deal last year, and that deal certainly paid off for Philadelphia. The A's hope it pays off long term for their franchise. Adam Lind, like everybody else in the lineup, it seems, is scorching the ball lately, hitting .370. An impressive .431 on base percentage. In fact, Adam walked twice last night, Rance. Not only is he covering both sides of the plate, but he's also quite selective.
He has been so far, and what you have to like about Adam Lind against left-handers, that front side, he doesn't give any at all. Oftentimes a left-handed hitter versus left-handed pitching will have a tendency to leak open a little early. Not Adam Lind.
Now, as we know, Vernon has the green light. 1 ball and 1 strike and 2 out. Do we see him go at some point here, even though there's a lefty on the mound?
It's hard to say. Tough to get a jump oftentimes off a left-hander, especially when you haven't seen his move very much, and that would be the case with Outman. The concern you'd have with Vernon Wells running a lot is he has had some reoccurring hamstring problems.
Breaking ball for strike 2.
You have to say that Outman does have a unique look with those socks.
No question. Now, Brian Talent wouldn't be afraid to look like that, and has in the past.
When he brought that up, first thought that went through my mind is he looks like he's riding a chicken.
Here's the young Outman with the pitch that's a little high. Got a funky delivery. At first glance, Rance, does he look deceptive?
As far as his delivery goes, looks like he short arms the ball a little bit.
Ripped to right field. Lind has another base hit. Wells was on the move, so he moves to third. And Adam continues to hit the baseball,
which might make it difficult to pick up at times, but so far in this ball game, the Blue Jays are not having any trouble at all. And when a club's hot, you just can't consistently get behind in the count. They'll make you pay. Ball hit very hard.
Other than scouting reports, the Blue Jays have very little on Outman. And unless they caught him in a spring game last year when he was with the Phillies, many of these players have probably not even faced him before. So here's Scott Rowland getting a look at the kid, and he falls behind 0-1. What did you do at the plate when you were looking at a pitcher for the first time?
Same thing that you normally try to do. Just look for a good pitch to hit. When you get it, be aggressive. And it, again, when a pitcher's constantly behind in the count, it makes hitting a little easier because you can be very selective.
I do like the stirrups. I was watching an old game from '76 the other day on the MLB network. Mark Fidrich, of all people, the day before he died. This was in Cleveland, pitching against the Yankees, and his socks looked a lot like that. Rowland had a good trip, going 10 for 28. Walked twice last night and scored once. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Outman, and it's bombed to left field. Is it deep enough to go? No. There's Holiday at the track, and that's the inning. But the Blue Jays do get a home run, their 20th of the year, and it comes from Marco Scutaro. So after 1, it's a 1-1 game at Rogers Center. So for details, please go to BlueJays.com, where baseball is always on. Here is the first of a 6-game homestand for the Blue Jays, tied at 1 against the A's. We hit the second inning. Jack Cust, Kurt Suzuki, and Mark Ellis will come on and face David Percy. I'm Jamie Campbell with Rance Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. Cust with a .487 on base percentage. Yes, he strikes out a ton, but he also walks a lot.
Had a .375 on base percentage last year and possesses a lot of power.
He swings at the curveball from Percy, 0-2.
Important that David Percy have these next couple of innings, have some quick ones and start to kind of average out that per inning pitch count.
He's working the ball in that glove now, chomping on the gum. Ahead of Cust, and he throws it high. Last year, Jack Cust struck out 197 times. That led the American League. And he also walked 111 times. That also led the American League. 33 home runs a year ago. Two-two pitch, and it's ripped foul.
Jack Cust, just a little better than every 3 at bats, strikes out.
He hits it to center field. Here's Wells. There goes Cust, 1 down. And that brings up Kurt Suzuki. The A's had an off day yesterday. They flew to Toronto from Oakland. The day before, on Wednesday, they were almost no hit by Tim Wakefield of the Boston Red Sox. And it was only after Suzuki, with 1 out in the 8th inning, he was the man able to break up the no-hitter attempt by Tim Wakefield.
I have a question for you. I believe Kurt Suzuki caught Ricky Romero at Cal State Fullerton.
He absolutely did. And they combined to win a national championship together for the Cal State Fullerton Titans back in 2004. And Romero pitches Sunday. He was actually a little concerned because he figured that perhaps with the travel by the A's here to Toronto that Bob Guerin might give Suzuki Sunday off. But I said, in all likelihood, he'll sit him tomorrow, day game following a night game, and you'll be able to try and strike him out on Sunday. He certainly wants to face his old battery mate, that's for sure.
Sure, the opposite is true as well.
He pops it up into right field. And Percy has 2 fly outs here in the second inning. Now, as we saw in the first inning, Rance, the A's were awfully patient with Percy. They managed to bring up 5 hitters and get 28 pitches out of him. As a pitcher, how do you induce contact from hitters? What's the best way to do it?
The best way to do it is throw strikes. If you throw strikes consistently, then the hitters will become more aggressive and have more of a tendency to chase the ball out of the strike zone once in a while.
Well, he faces Mark Ellis, the veteran second baseman, who hails from Rapid City, South Dakota. Ellis hitting .250 to start the year. He went 3 for 19 on the recent homestand. 3 balls and no strikes. Ball 4. So Percy walks his second man in the game. The first one came in to score. That was Sweeney 1 inning ago.
Percy had an opportunity to have a pretty easy inning. After getting the first 2 hitters out, then he walks Ellis on 4 straight pitches. You could tell Ellis after the first pitch was a ball. He didn't even offer at the next one. It was fairly close, taking all the way. Ends up with the base on balls.
Strike 1 to Bobby Crosby. Now this man's taken a career tumble.
I asked Ray Fosse prior to tonight's game, why is it that Bobby Crosby has not developed into the player that everyone thought he was going to be after his rookie year, and he felt that it's just due to injury. He can't stay healthy and stay on the field.
Rookie of the year in '04. Now he's hitting 9th in the order, and really only getting time due to the fact that Eric Chavez continues to find the injuries.
He's basically, at this point for the A's ball club, is a utility player.
Sure. There's the 0-2 pitch, and that's out of play. Let's bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, guys, I talked to Brad Arnsberg before the game, and talking about David Percy and his control, he said look for a release window. So if you're watching Percy and you see him moving from back to front, that's a bad release window. If you see him working downhill on a downward plane, that's what Brad Arnsberg refers to as a good release window, and that's when his control is much better.
And the key, I guess, Rance, would be to repeat that
as often as possible.
Right.
It'd be a good idea.
Easier said than done. Here's the 0-2 pitch again, and a check swing foul by Crosby.
Good hard breaking ball right on the hands of Bobby Crosby.
Gets a ground ball to Scutaro, who flips to second, and they force out Ellis. No runs here in the second inning for Oakland.
much like Percy, throw strikes.
Here come the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Blue Jays. Millar, Barrett, and Bautista. Fastball in for strike one from Outman. And a breaking ball follows 0-2. He's got good velocity. He brings it at about 91, 92.
Can at times touch 95.
Kevin Millar last night said when facing a knuckleballer, it's usually best to swing at the first pitch. He did last night with the bases loaded and got his first grand slam in 6 years as the Blue Jays thrashed the Twins 9-2. That grand slam coming off of R.A. Dickey in a 7-run 7th inning. Behind in the count here, 1-2. It's up high. Swung on and missed, and Millar's out on strikes.
Defensively this evening for the A's, Holiday, Sweeney, and Cust in the outfield. Crosby and Cabrera on the left side of the infield. Ellis and Giambi on the right. Kurt Suzuki does the catching this evening, and Josh Outman the pitching.
Here's Michael Barrett now. Barrett started on Wednesday, catching Scott Richmond. Tonight he gives Rod Barajas a breather. Strike two. A career .264 hitter. Barrett's played in over 1,000 games. With the Cubs, he hit 16 home runs in 3 consecutive years. And tagged his first as a Blue Jay 2 nights ago in Minneapolis off Scott Baker. One-two pitch, tap foul.
That's the old emergency hack. Fooled by the off-speed pitch, but able to react, fight it off, and see another one. With 2 strikes, you have to respect the fastball first.
There it comes. It's lined to center field, and Sweeney is right there to put away Barrett. You know, these are the first swings for a lot of these Blue Jays. They did not take batting practice today because of the late arrival last night, and besides, Cito Gaston says batting practice is overrated. It's time for Fast Facts, brought to you by Rogers High-Speed Internet, the fastest and most reliable, period. And the Blue Jays already have 5 victories this year in games where they've trailed by 2 runs or more. They are the comeback kids. Here's Jose Bautista. Bautista hitting .350. He's got 7 hits in 20 at bats, 2 of them doubles. Right now it seems to be an every other day scenario in left field between Bautista and Snyder. Snyder gets back in tomorrow with a right-hander on the hill for the A's.
Talk about the everyday players for the Jays, and they have many that are outstanding, but they have very good depth. You have Bautista, Millar, John McDonald, guys that can step in and do a nice job.
They jam Bautista, and he flies to center field. Sweeney is there, and Outman gets a 1-2-3 second inning. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Here on Flashback Friday, I'm Jamie Campbell with Rents Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. It's the top of the third inning and the top of the order. Ryan Sweeney at the plate for Oakland. He'll be followed by Orlando Cabrera and then Jason Giambi. And he's hit in the shoulder on the second pitch from Percy and gets on base for a second time.
Ball rides up and in on him. That's the way you turn. Try to turn away from it. Use that shoulder to protect your head. That had to hurt a little bit. It looked like it caught him on maybe the shoulder blade.
So a man on for Cabrera, who hits it deep to center field. Vernon backtracks and makes the catch. Giambi was the MVP of the American League in 2000 when he played for the A's. He was there from 1995 to 01 and then signed with the Yankees, a huge free agent contract after the 01 season. There goes the runner. Barrett with the throw. It's high, and Sweeney has a stolen base.
Sweeney with a great jump off of first base. First movement, he was going, and no chance for Barrett to throw him out.
That almost gets away from Barrett. He plays it nicely, and the count now 1-1. Strike two.
in this at bat, it looks as if though David Percy and Michael Barrett want to make Giambi hit the breaking ball. So far, 3 in a row.
Strike 3. Say so long, Jason. He's the second out.
Another breaking ball here from David Percy. Doesn't get it where he wants to. It's kind of up and flattens out, and Giambi swings right underneath it. Trying to get that ball down and away off the plate. But you'll take it if you're David Percy.
Now he's up against Holliday again, and Holliday flies to right field. Rios comes in, and that's it for the A's. They get a man, no runs, nobody coming in to score for Oakland, so it's still a 1-1 game. The Blue Jays wasted no time getting on the board in their half of the inning. 2 pitches in, Marco Scutaro hit his 4th home run of the year to left field. So he's back to face Josh Outman. It'll be Scutaro, Hill, and Rios for the Jays in the last of the 3rd. Tonight we wish a happy 80th birthday to John Dooley. John is watching tonight in Collingwood, Ontario. Our best goes out to you. 24-year-old Josh Outman on the hill for the A's. And a 2-0 pitch to Scutaro. Now make it 3-0. With the home run, Marco has reached base now successfully in all 12 games the Blue Jays have played, and 15 extending back to last year. Here's a 3-1 pitch. It's now 3-2.
Leading off the inning. Marco Scutaro taking all the way.
Up high for ball 4, and Scutaro draws a walk.
First at bat, he homered off of Outman, did Scutaro, and in his second at bat, you could tell that Outman pitching very carefully to Marco Scutaro. The result, Scutaro leads off the inning with the base on balls.
Aaron Hill upped his average to .392 thanks to the single in the first inning. He was erased on a ground ball by Rios, who hit into a 6-4 and 3 double play. He checks his swing. And let's bring in our good friend Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, a pattern developing now for Outman. He has thrown 9 of 11 first pitch strikes. 8 of those 9 have been first pitch fastball, so something the middle of the lineup should surely be able to cue in on here the second time through the lineup.
If they're paying attention. And Rents, I know you're a big proponent of looking for patterns when you're sitting on the bench.
It's only going to help make you better if you pay attention, establish a pattern against a particular pitcher. Then you have a pretty good idea of what he's going to try to do to you when you step in the batter's box, and that can be an advantage for a hitter.
Hit to left field. Aaron has hit it well. This ball sailing, and it's gone. Oh my goodness, what a start to the year for this man. Aaron Hill's on fire, and the Blue Jays are up 3-1.
Not a bad pitch. It's in pretty good. Aaron Hill just pulls his hands in and is able to get the barrel on it. Nice job of hitting. And he is hot.
He just wanted the home run lead back. He knew that Scutaro was on base with 4 of them, and now Aaron has 4. And the Blue Jays lead it 3-1. Here's Rios sending it foul. And poor Alex, the last 2 games coming into this one in Minneapolis, the Blue Jays combined for 21 runs, and Alex in the 3-hole went 0 for 10. Two and 1. Three-one pitch to Rios. Hits it sharply on the ground and right through the wickets of Mark Ellis. Now he stung that baseball.
Ball was hit very hard, but this is a play that Mark Ellis should have made. But a good sign. Rios typically gets himself in trouble when he gets pull happy. Goes the other way here with a 3-1 pitch and hits it very hard. And if you start to do that consistently, he'll start to heat up.
Ellis slaps the glove. He's charged with an error. Put Rios on first with the E4. Bring Wells to the plate. He walked in the first inning. The Blue Jays have scored twice here in the third. Still nobody out. Josh Outman has thrown 50 pitches. He tosses over to Giambi. Vernon is at the plate trying to extend his hit streak to 8 games. Wells will stay in the 4-hole for Cito Gaston through most of the year, whether he's sizzling or slumping. On hitting 4th, Vernon said this spring, quote, "I'm probably not a prototypical number 4, but I think I'll be fairly decent at it."
If Vernon Wells stays healthy the entire season, I expect him to have a big year for the Jays. Last 2 years, of course, he's had health problems.
Rios at first, 2-1. Outman with the pitch. A breaking ball fouled back. It was a fractured wrist and a left hamstring strain that kept Vernon out for a total of 52 games last year. In fact, it was enough to keep him off the United States roster at the WBC. They have provisions where if you spent too much time on the DL the year prior, you cannot play in the World Baseball Classic, and that happened to Vernon. 2-2. He holds back as Suzuki slides to his left. It's 3-2 on Wells.
07 had the injury to the left shoulder, which eventually required surgery.
And never really let on about it until about the final 2 weeks of the year. So here is a 3-2 pitch on the way to Wells, and he hits it on the ground, but called foul by Tim McClelland.
Great look at it from this camera angle. Just foul.
Outman trying again on the 3-2. It's wide of the plate, ball 4. So after giving up the home run to Hill, he sees Ellis make an error at second and then walks Wells. Still nobody out. And Kurt Young comes out, the A's pitching coach, for a word. While we have a moment, let's bring in Sam Cosentino once again. Sam.
Well, Jamie, Kurt Young out in the mound, and Bob Guerin said before the game that it's a fine line between giving your pitchers enough time to be able to establish themselves. But if you look at Guerin, he's in a very similar situation to Cito Gaston, a very young pitching staff that also needs to put up innings in order to save wear and tear in the bullpen. So he's probably in that gray area right now as far as Outman's outing is concerned.
There's no question about the youth of this team. There isn't a starter on the A's staff who is older than 26. Wearing number 26 for the Blue Jays is Adam Lind. 2 on, nobody out. Strike 1 from Outman. We'll see Trevor Cahill go tomorrow. He had a good first outing on the year. Outman with the 0-1 pitch. It's up high. And they're raving about a left-hander in the rotation named Brett Anderson, who the Blue Jays will not see in this series. Instead, Dallas Braden, a left-hander, goes in Sunday's game against Ricky Romero. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed as that ball fades away from Lind.
Good breaking ball from Outman. Started in the strike zone. Finishes out, gets Adam Lind to chase it. When you have young pitchers in particular, you're going to have to take your lumps sometimes, which means you're going to have to leave them in ball games in situations that you otherwise would take them out and go to your bullpen to give them the opportunity to learn how to get themselves out of trouble.
These are important at bats coming up for the Blue Jays here, because here's an opportunity to get to a young pitcher early and force Bob Guerin to get somebody up in the bullpen.
And it's a great opportunity for Outman to figure out how to get out of it.
Ball 2. So it's 2-2 on Lind. Vernon Wells at first. Alex Rios at second. The Blue Jays lead 3-1. And Lind trying to lock in here. It's off the plate, 3-2.
You have to take the approach that you do in the minor leagues when you're developing players, and that is a young pitcher. His pitch count, his limit's 100, and sometimes you just tell him, you've got 100 pitches in this ball game, and no matter how it goes, you're out there for the total. And that's the way you learn.
Suzuki goes to the hand signs with Rios at second. Did he hold up? No. Adam Lind called out on strikes by home plate umpire Ted Barrett. So that's the first out in the third inning. It's a good angle. Looks like he offered at it. And now Scott Rowland, who hit the ball deep to left, and his trip to the plate in the first inning, but flied out, is back up there facing Outman. That one hurt Suzuki. He'll shake it off by taking the ball out to Outman, and they'll chat while he's there. As you know, Rance, Rowland near the end of last year made a radical adjustment to his swing. He dropped his hands, and
he did that to take pressure off of his shoulder.
Yeah, he's not as intense up at the plate anymore, and it seems to be paying off with some very good numbers early on this year.
And it looks as if he's healthy, completely over the surgery that he's had 3 times on that.
So it's critical that he stays healthy.
I thought coming into the season this Jays ball club had a chance to be very good offensively if they get production from Rowland and Overbay over at first base.
There's the 0-1, and he goes around, fooled by that pitch. It's 0-2.
They would have a lot of depth, and right now the Jays do. They have a lot of depth in their lineup. They can put pressure on you every inning instead of just that inning where maybe 2, 3, and 4 come up. Now it can be 6, 7, 8, and they can put a lot of pressure on you. Good depth in the lineup.
Foul tip, caught by Suzuki, and so Rowland's gone too.
Since the visit from the pitching coach Kurt Young, he's settled down. Nice job. Hard breaking ball right into the hands of Rowland. He struck out Adam Lind with a good hard breaking pitch.
His breaking ball was described to us as more of a slurve, a kind of a hybrid slider and curveball. It's got more of a look of a slider, does it not?
It does, most certainly. And he has a good one at times. It's a little inconsistent. The last one to Rowland was very good.
So Kevin Millar then, with now 2 gone, still 2 on in Rios and Wells. An opportunity to really bust in some runs here is beginning to slip away for the Blue Jays. At once 2 on and nobody out, but back-to-back strikeouts for Outman. Brings Millar up with 2 gone. He's back to throwing strikes. Here's what Millar did last night in the 7th inning off R.A. Dickey. Dickey floats it in. Young looks over his shoulder. And a grand slam contributing to a 9-2 victory for the Blue Jays.
Kevin Millar, a dead pull hitter. Always looking for something that he can pull and get airborne, and he does have plenty of pop in his bat.
Look at those eyes. He's locked in against Outman. The left-hander waits and then steps off. Suzuki comes back for a chat. 2-1. You know, it's not even close in the overall hit department coming into this game among teams in the American League. The Blue Jays led the American League coming into tonight's ball game with 128 hits. They've added 4 more tonight. They were 35 clear of the next best team, the Texas Rangers. And here is Millar. And he finds the gap in left field. Rios trots home. Wells comes around. The ball gets away from Holliday. And Millar drives in 2 with 2 gone. What a big hit that is.
Might have been a case of one too many breaking balls as a changeup that stays out over the plate. Nice adjustment by Millar. Dumps it into left center. Sweeney has a little trouble with it, but I believe Vernon Wells would have scored off of first base anyway. Now the Jays with a comfortable 5-1 lead.
2 RBIs for Kevin Millar. So he has 7 on the year. Michael Barrett now, the number 8 hitter, hit it sharply to center and lined out his first time up. He pops this one into shallow right field for Cust. Still, the Blue Jays score 4 times in the third. And after 3 innings of play, it's the Blue Jays 5 and the A's 1. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Welcome back to Rogers Center, home of the Blue Jays. And they've continued to swing the bats in the opener of this 3-game series. 5 runs on 5 hits. I'm Jamie Campbell with Rance Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. Our Sportsnet.ca columnist Scott Carson is in the booth as well. We're watching David Percy in his 3rd start of the year face the Oakland A's for the first time. Percy with a 4-run lead. Nomar Garcia-Parra fouls it back 1-1. This ball popped up and it twists out of play. A year ago yesterday, Percy was pitching in AAA Syracuse. The club at the time was in Buffalo. So his wife Katie came up and they went across the border to Niagara Falls, Ontario, and watched the Blue Jays play the Texas Rangers on Sportsnet, sitting in a restaurant. Now Percy noticed that the game went extra innings and noticed that the Blue Jays used A.J. Burnett in relief in the 14th inning. As he gets a foul back of Garcia Parra again. And he turned to his wife Katie and said, this might be an opportunity here, because Burnett was scheduled to start 2 days later. And what do you know? Shortly thereafter, Percy got the call and made his major league debut on the 18th of April. 2 days later against the Detroit Tigers. 2-2.
Who would have thought coming into tonight's ball game, the Oakland A's with Giambi hitting third, Holiday fourth, Garcia Parra fifth. Between those three, they would have a total of just 1 home run.
That's coming back and out of play.
That belonging to Garcia Parra. But you know, it's just a question of time before the big guns start to swing it for the Oakland A's. Well, maybe if you're the Jays, you're catching them at a pretty good time right now.
Two and two. Hit softly on the ground to Millar. Percy covers. And there's one away. So the next Flashback Friday is May 1st, when the first American League East team comes into town. That's the Baltimore Orioles, and Paul Molitor will be around. Flashback Fridays presented by the Fan 590 and the Toronto Star. We saw Paul at the ballpark in Minneapolis yesterday. So come on down and meet a Hall of Famer. Get a signature. Your tickets can be found at BlueJays.com. Visit your local Rogers Plus location or call 416-341-1234. Molitor was certainly happy to be part of that '93 Jays club. He got himself a World Series ring. Here is Jack Cust, the right fielder. Hard ground ball up the middle. Scudero can't get to it. A sliding Rios cuts it off and brings it in quickly. Cust had made a wide turn at first, but he'll stay there. Good play by Rios.
Sam talked about how well the Jays have played defensively this year. This was an outstanding play by Alex Rios to hustle over, slide into the baseball, get up very quickly, and one hop it right into second base and keep that double play in order.
Back comes Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki caught the most games of any American League catcher last year, 136. He essentially took over the starting role in Oakland, now 2 years ago, vacated by Jason Kendall. Percy pitching with a lead. That pitch off the plate for a 1-1 count. David was taken 16th overall by the Blue Jays out of the University of Oklahoma back in 2004. And that's fouled away. So those first round picks are a coming. Percy has half a season in the big leagues entering this year. And the first pick of 05, Ricky Romero, will go on Sunday. And so far, Rents, the kids have acquitted themselves quite well on the mound. 2-2 and fouled straight back. Ted Barrett seems to be showing a very small strike zone tonight.
It has been a very consistent strike zone. And from the standpoint of a pitcher or a hitter, umpire's consistent with his balls and strikes, then you can make the adjustment accordingly.
Two and two. He runs it in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So now Percy has thrown 70 pitches.
Interesting to see how Bob Guerin, the manager for the A's, plays this situation. 3-2. Pretty good contact hitter. Do you start the runner even though you're down 4?
Well, it didn't break.
And with Cust at first base, if you get a swinging strikeout or a called strikeout, chances are he's going to be thrown out at second. So he elected not to start him. Kurt Suzuki does run well for a catcher and has the ability to stay out of a double play with a ball hit on the ground.
There goes the runner now, and here's Suzuki grounding it through the hole on the left side. Bautista comes up with it, first and second for the A's with 1 gone.
Great example of why that 2-2 pitch is so important, because you go 3-2, you do have the option. They started the runner Cust off of first base. Not only are you going to stay out of the double play that way if the hitter puts the ball in play, but it gets a base hit for Kurt Suzuki because Scutaro is covering the bag. Vacates early. Otherwise, that is an out.
So here are the A's trying to get a couple of those runs back. And Mark Ellis looks at ball 1. The Blue Jays scored 4 in the bottom of the 3rd on a home run, 2 walks and an error. In fact, you can make it 2 errors. The official scoring on Millar's base hit that cashed 2 was a double with just 1 RBI. And that RBI brought home Alex Rios. Vernon Wells scores on the error by center fielder Ryan Sweeney.
It's a tough error for Sweeney because I think Wells was going to score anyway.
Yeah, it certainly looked like he would. 2 balls and 1 strike on Ellis. Now 3-1.
Mark Ellis is capable of getting you right back in the ball game. He does, not a prolific home run hitter, but he hit 12 last year. He does have pop.
Ball 4. Percy has walked them loaded. And Cito just got off the phone, likely with the bullpen. Bodies are stirring down there. He was pretty emphatic about wanting a long outing from Percy. Not 8 or 9 innings, but a good 6. That pitch count continues to rise, now at 78. Barrett comes out for a word. Bobby Crosby at the plate.
Sometimes a pitcher has to realize that you just have to take your chances and challenge a hitter. And Did not do that with Mark Ellis with the count 3-1. That's sometimes you just have to roll the dice a little bit and challenge him.
There are the bases full. Here is Bobby Crosby. Here comes the first pitch from Percy, and it misses for ball one. Crosby, the number 9 hitter, hit into a fielder's choice in the second. He's ready for the 1-0, and here it comes. 2 balls and no strikes. Jesse Carlson throws in the Blue Jays bullpen. And now Brad Arnsberg sees something. So there's Carlson, who last worked for the Blue Jays on Tuesday. In fact, he took the loss in that 11th inning game against the Twins. Let's get another word from Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, interesting to see Brad Arnsberg come out in this situation. If you go back to Percy's last start in Cleveland, it was Cito Gaston who came out and delivered a stern message early in the game, just reminding Percy to refocus and concentrate on the task at hand. I'm sure that message from Arnsberg was very similar to Cito, but when Cito or the manager on any team delivers it, it's usually a little more heartfelt.
Yeah, usually they're the only ones doing the talking. This one hit well to center field, and Wells will not catch up to it. The A's circle the bases, all 3 coming in. Crosby now turns for third. Here's the throw. It's offline, a bases clearing triple, and the A's are right back in the ball game.
Bobby Crosby not wasting any time. He gets a pitch to his liking here, 2-0, and drives it to left center. The reason he was able to stretch it into a triple is right here. Instead of coming off the wall hard, the ball just comes down softly. That forced Vernon Wells to have to go get it. And Crosby has himself a triple.
And Scutaro picks it off the turf, keeps the runner at third, and throws out Sweeney. That was tremendous.
And this is why you want to make the opposition put the ball in play against this Jays defense. You called it, Jamie. This is an outstanding play by Marco Scutaro. The ball hits sharply, comes up very quickly on him. He's able to adjust, check the runner at third, and get the out at first.
There's an infielder picking up his pitcher. And you could see Scutaro right afterward turn to Percy and say something. I got your back, pal. Let's hold on to this lead as he faces Cabrera and bounces it in front of him 1-1.
And David Percy right now really appears to be out of sync. He's lost that release point talked about earlier in the game.
That gets away from Barrett, and here comes the tying run as Crosby slides in safely. And Barrett is hurt. He is hurt. Athletic trainer George Poulos comes out quickly. Did he slip on something in the on-deck circle? Sam, you're down there. What did you see?
It looked to me on the slide by Barrett. He went hard in with the shoulder, but the wrap weight, not necessarily the donut that you put on the bat to weight it down when in the on-deck circle, but the wrap, that weighted wrap that goes around the bat. It looks like he might have gotten a piece of that, and it might have jammed against the turf in his shoulder and not given a whole lot.
The replay there, it looks as if he fell hard on his right shoulder. And he's hurting.
Well, it's safe to say Rod Barajas is going to catch the rest of this game.
And that does not look good.
And if you're curious, if a third catcher were required, it would be John McDonald. Let's go down to Sam Cosentino once again.
Well, Jamie, you talk about McDonald on an emergency basis in this game, but let's go back to spring training. The Blue Jays brought 3 experienced catchers into camp, Raul Chavez being the other one. He's been sent to AAA out of spring training, knowing that at some point he might get the opportunity. For J.P. Ricciardi now, this looks like a genius move based on the fact that it looked like a pretty serious injury to Barrett. Keep your eye on Chavez if this thing should be longer than a week-long injury.
Yeah, no question. They had Chavez in AAA for that very reason. So Cito comes out, and no words necessary. He takes the ball immediately and sends Percy to the showers. Carlson is sufficiently warm. He trots in. This change brought to you by Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain. Blown their lead. It was 5-1. It's now tied at 5. David Percy roughed up while pitching in the 4th, and he has to give it up for Jesse Carlson, who will try and finish off Orlando Cabrera. It has not been a good inning for the Blue Jays. They allow the 4 runs, and they lose Michael Barrett. Ball 4 to Cabrera. So that walk goes into the books for Carlson. And David Percy will have some time to ponder this outing. It has not been a good one.
And you know that he has to be very disappointed. Had the 5-1 lead. A great opportunity, and was unable to make a quality pitch when he needed it here in the top of the 4th.
So here's Carlson, who lost Tuesday's game in extra innings. And the Blue Jays went to extras that night despite an 8-inning, 2-run effort by Ricky Romero. 1-1 on Giambi. Now 1-2. Romero was followed by Scott Richmond, who went 6 1/3. A nice outing Wednesday, and of course Halliday was up to his usual tricks a night ago. So Percy must have felt like, hey, this is my responsibility to keep it going. Well, he certainly didn't come through tonight. One and two to Giambi. Here's the pitch from Carlson. On the ground, Scudero makes the throw to first. Giambi's retired, and the inning is over. A lot of damage done by the A's in more ways than one. The Blue Jays before heading for a short period to the California Angels organization. Kelly now living down in Austin, Texas, as he is honored tonight on Flashback Friday.
Kelly was a 5-tool player. He could run, throw, field, and hit with power. Another one of those acquisitions by Pat Gillick that really turned into something special.
Well, the Blue Jays will try and get their lead back as they face Josh Outman in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And Josh Outman has to feel at this point like he's got new life. Tie ball game now.
Two and one to Bautista. Strike 2 called.
Feel like if he can settle in here for a couple innings, maybe he can get out of here with a win.
That hurts Bautista. He fouls it right off the ankle. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Blue Jays scored 4 times. Aaron Hill contributing with a 2-run home run. But the A's got all 4 back at the top of this inning. Singles by Cust and Suzuki. Ellis walked to load the bases, and Crosby brought all 3 home with a triple. He later scored on the wild pitch. Chopped to third. Taken by Crosby. He goes across the diamond to get Bautista. Marcos Scudero's had a night. A home run and a walk. He scored twice. He walked last time up just ahead of Aaron Hill and came home when Hill knocked it out. This A's rotation is quite young, in part because they've lost one of their best starters, Justin Dukeshire, who's got some elbow problems and will be out of action until about mid-May. 2-0 to Scudero. Now 2-1. Marco has 4 home runs. Here's his latest. The second pitch he saw from Outman. Pops it up and pops it out of play. This is the one and only time this year the A's will be in Toronto. They'll wrap up the series on Sunday. The Jays this year make 2 trips to Oakland, May 8th through 10, and then a 3-game set July 31st to August 2nd. Strike 3 called. Scudero's gone. Well, the line on David Percy tonight, not necessarily good. 3 2/3.
And again, 4 walks in 3 2/3 innings of work. Oftentimes behind in the count, and finally in the 4th inning of the ball game this evening, it caught up with him.
Aaron Hill, the batter, looks at strike 1.
And you know that David Percy has be very disappointed in his performance this evening.
Hill steps away from it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Those walks came back to haunt Percy yet again. He walked 4, 2 of them scored. Three and 1. Ball 4. That's a 2-out walk for Aaron.
And if you're a manager, this will really wear on you. You get the first 2 hitters out on your way to having a nice quick inning, and then you walk a hitter and put yourself back potentially into some trouble.
Cito's coaching Adam Lind, and you see this a lot. The young players, in many cases the players that are in the hole, and Lind would follow Rios and Wells, sit right beside the manager, and Cito essentially quizzes them. What are you thinking? What are you looking for? What's the plan? Great to see, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and I know the drill. I was in that same position many times along with a lot of my teammates. And many of us really learned how to hit at the major league level under Cito Gaston.
Well, here's Alex Rios again. Alex 0 for 2, reaching on an error last time up. So he's 0 for his last 12. Seeing Outman for the third time now. And he awaits the 1-0. Here it comes. And he gets jammed and sends it foul.
And hitting coach Gene Tennis's his philosophy goes hand in hand with Cito Gaston's.
There's Gene watching the throw over. And he's got credentials too, Gene Tennis.
They've had a lot of success together. I believe Gene Tennis has six maybe seven World Series rings.
I think it might be 6, 2 as a coach, 4 as a player. He was with the A's for that run of 3 from 72 through 74. And then I think he got one with the Cardinals in 82.
And then 2 here, and then I think he got another one as an instructor in the Cardinals organization the last time they were world champions.
Like I said, credentials. He was part of those mustachioed clubs of the A's. Sal Bando, Bert Campaneris, Raleigh Fingers, Joe Rudy, Reggie Jackson. Two and two.
How times have changed with salaries,
yep.
Free agency.
Ray Fosse was a teammate. Ray's here doing television for the A's.
The owner of the A's at the time offered everybody on the ball club if they would grow a mustache, he'd pay them $500.
And
then it was a lot of money. $500.
Everybody took him up on it. You look at the team photo from 74. Everybody has one. Two and a chopper that runs foul. So Alex hangs in there against Outman, trying to get that lead back. Tied at 5 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now Outman's pitch count's getting up there at 96. Somewhat similar to Percy. He hasn't had a real efficient inning. Save for the second. He waves and misses, and Rios is in a bit of a funk. There's no question there. He strikes out, leaves Hill on base, and 4 innings have completed here at Rogers Center. It's 5. first on the Fan 590 Morning Show with Don Landry and Gord Stelling. Fives on the board in the 5th inning here at Rogers Center. Jamie Campbell is with Rance Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. We welcome you across the country from wherever you're watching on Rogers Sportsnet. This is Matt Holliday in his first year with the A's, 0 for 2 on the night, seeing Jesse Carlson. Oakland scored first. They forced David Percy to throw 28 pitches in the first inning and got a run. Toronto came back with a solo home run in the bottom half of the inning thanks to Marco Scutaro. The Jays then took a 5-1 lead with 4 in the 3rd. Kevin Millar brought home 2 with a 2-out double. That inning included a 2-run home run by Aaron Hill. But Percy gave it right back in the 4th inning to Oakland. A couple of singles by Custon Suzuki and then a walk to Ellis loaded up the bases for Bobby Crosby. He tripled and then came home on a wild pitch to tie the game at 5. Here's Holliday. There's Millar. He says, "Thank you. I'll take it myself." On that play, if you've just tuned in, Michael Barrett hurt himself as he recovered the ball and tried to throw while falling on the on-deck circle, and there's a lot of equipment down there. So he is gone from the game, and Rod Barajas is now catching Jesse Carlson. Here's Noma. Here's another look, if you didn't see it initially, of Barrett going after the loose ball. Watch the right shoulder.
And looking at the replay, I don't believe he fell on anything over there in the on-deck circle. He just landed very hard on the right shoulder.
Out goes Garciaparra. Jesse Carlson last year was the last cut of spring training. The Blue Jays at the time decided to keep their Rule 5 draft pick, Randy Wells. So Wells came north with the team. Carlson started the year in AAA. And it wasn't long before he was up and making an impact on the bullpen.
When opportunity presented itself, he took advantage of it, no doubt about it. 60 innings of work last year, just 41 hits allowed and an excellent ERA.
You could make the case that he was the best relief pitcher the Blue Jays had last season. As he faces Jack Cust, 1 for 2. 0-2, and he holds off on the pitch outside. The wiry built Carlson sends the ball off the bat of Cust into the seats and left. Pitch on the way, and it's down. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good 1-2 pitch from Jesse Carlson. Make sure he gets that ball down and out of the strike zone, trying to get Cust to chase it a little bit. Cust staying back pretty good on the breaking ball right now.
Oh, and that runs right in on him, and that hurts.
After several breaking pitches, just trying probably to sneak a fastball by him, and it gets away from Carlson.
So Custa's on. Trying to rid himself of the pain over there. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, is 1 for 2. He gets a chance here against Carlson. Swings and flies to right field. Back goes Rios. Out goes Suzuki and the A's. They get a man on but can't bring him home. To the bottom of the 5th, Vernon Wells leads off for Toronto. See that, fans will be happy to see Dan Henderson, who's joining us now from the big cozy chairs in the TD Canada Trust Comfort Zone. Hey Dan, how are you?
I'm doing great. This is probably the best seats I've ever sat in for a baseball game.
I would hope so.
Nice and comfy and cushy.
We went all out for you.
Yeah.
Have you been to Toronto before?
I've been to Toronto a couple times before. They had an MMA expo, and up in Canada here, this is there's some huge MMA fans. There's a ton of MMA fans up here, and probably some of our biggest supporters are Canadians.
Yeah, well, so fans know you're a UFC fighter in the middleweight division.
Right.
And when is your next fight?
My next fight is it's in Vegas, July 11th, on UFC 100. So it's going to be one of their big shows. It's sold out pretty quick.
It seems to sell out, especially when they stage it up here. We've got a new man on the mound for the Oakland A's. As you watch right-hander Andrew Bailey toss for the A's. So Josh Outman is out after 4 innings. Here's Vernon Wells hitting. 1 ball and 1 strike. And well, that's coming near you.
That's coming right at me.
There's Jason Giambi.
Almost.
Giambi's a big guy. Do you think he could take him?
Not in baseball. Maybe not if he had his bat in his hand. I probably still could if he had a bat.
There's the proper political answer right there.
Hey, Dan,
well done.
Do you have some fighters in Montreal tomorrow evening?
Yeah, I'm actually coaching, cornering 3 different guys. Christoph Szynski's a guy that's my main guy that I'm here coaching, and he's from Winnipeg. So he's Canadian. He's got a tough fight ahead of him, but he's going to do well.
Now, for viewers with digital television, UFC is available on Rogers On Demand, so make sure you contact Rogers to find it whenever you need it, essentially. As Adam Lind hits it in your direction as well. We're joined by Dan Henderson, who's got a pretty good record, 24-7. What type of discipline do you...
Well, I grew up as a wrestler,
yeah.
but now if I was just a wrestler, I'd get my butt kicked. So you gotta know everything now, and there's so much to learn, and so many ways that you could win or lose a fight in MMA. I think that's the appeal that the fans have.
What spurned your interest in the sport?
Initially, just money. I was a wrestler trying to make a third Olympic team, and thought I'd be good at it, and needed to make a little money to keep wrestling. Then I fell in love with it. It's just it's a big challenge and a lot of fun to learn new stuff.
Adam Lynn goes down looking, and so he is out number 2. Hey, listen, Dan, we wish you the best of luck on your next engagement in July, and thank you for joining us tonight on
no
Sportsnet.
problem, guys. I appreciate it.
That is Dan Henderson, a UFC fighter in the TD Canada Trust comfort zone. Bailey gets a strike on Scott Rowland now. So it's a battle of the bullpens from here on in. Rowland is 0 for 2.
Bailey with a good arm, 93, 94 with his fastball. He's also shown a cutter, a cut fastball, about 88, 89.
And 2 on Rowland, and he gets him to slap a breaking ball foul. Vancouver Canadians fans might remember Andrew Bailey. He started 10 games for the Seas back in 2006. He's a 6th round pick of the A's back in 06 and spent all of last year at Double-A. This big league stuff is new to him. Last year at Double-A Midland, he struck out 110 in 110 innings. 2 gone 5th inning, 1 and 2 on Rowland. Bailey sets and fires. Swung on and missed. Foul tip. Rowland's gone, and the Jays are gone quickly in the 5th. 5 innings, in fact, are in the books here at Rogers Center. It's a 5-5 game. You're watching Blue Jays. Jason Frazier now takes over for Jesse Carlson. Frazier to face Ellis, Crosby, and Sweeney as we begin the 6th inning of play here at Rogers Center. Jason pitched last night, a harmless inning. He went 1-2-3 in the 9th inning when the Jays had the game in hand 9-2, and he struck out Brendan Harris to end the ball game. So Jason works on back-to-back nights, and after adding that changeup in the offseason, has really made himself a valued member of this bullpen. In the past few years, Frazier would be used in non-critical situations, but now Cito Gaston is leaning on him a little more. Picked up that big save on Saturday in Cleveland after B.J. Ryan ran into some trouble. Strike two.
Jason Frazier has always had a very good arm. And as you mentioned, Jamie, now that he's added a changeup, that gives a hitter something else that they have to think about and respect.
He goes off the plate.
And if he continues to have success and can build on that, no doubt, Cito Gaston will go to him more and more often in crucial situations because you begin to have confidence in Jason Frazier.
And on the fists into center field. Wells comes in and Ellis is gone. Last year Jason went 1-2 with a 4.18 ERA. His lone victory came in a 6-hour rain delayed victory in Philadelphia back in May. All season long he was able to hold right-handed batters to a 174 average. Back comes Bobby Crosby, who has the big hit of the night for the A's. That's that triple in the 4th inning that drove home 3. Ball 1. And strike 2. It's 1-2. Jason picked up the victory Monday in Minnesota. At one point the Blue Jays trailed that game 6-3. They ended up winning 8-6. Jason certainly benefited from Travis Snyder's 8th inning home run off Luis Ayala. Here's a ground ball for Scudero. An easy play for the shortstop. Time for yet another Fast Facts brought to you by Rogers High Speed Internet, the fastest and most reliable, period. Just 4 of Oakland's 42 runs this season have come with a home run. They've only hit 3 of them. Cust has 2. Garcia Parra has 1. Ryan Sweeney now. And Frazier gets ahead. 0-1. Frazier's save on Saturday in Cleveland was his first since September 21st of 2007. That night at Yankee Stadium, Greg Zahn homered in the 14th, and Frazier saved Joe Kennedy's only Blue Jay victory. Here he has 2 strikes on Ryan Sweeney. Throws some gas upstairs. 93 on the fastball. 1-2.
Great situation right here if he wants to go with a hard slider down and in, or with a changeup based upon the pitch pattern.
Goes with the changeup. It's fouled away.
And a pretty good job by Sweeney to fight that off. Definitely had him fooled, but able to keep his hands back long enough to foul it off and see another pitch. But that's that 3rd pitch now as a left-handed hitter, especially, you have to respect.
1-2. Barajas wanted that away. It came over the heart of the plate.
A little surprised that they haven't went to the slider, because the hitter Sweeney has not seen that pitch in this at bat. Sometimes that in itself will fool you.
There it comes.
Just didn't get it down underneath his hands.
Heater, and it's a good one. Sweeney can't catch up to it. Fraser gets a 1-2-3-6. Still tied at 5 here at Rogers Center.
Brought to you by Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
After the last of the 6th, it's Kevin Millar facing Andrew Bailey of the Oakland A's. The Blue Jays and Athletics are tied at 5 tonight on Rogers Sportsnet. And we thank you for joining us. This is Jamie Campbell with Rance Mulliniks. Tomorrow afternoon, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Trevor Cahill for the A's, Brian Tallett for the Blue Jays. We'll have Sunday's game as well. Dallas Braden goes for Oakland. Ricky Romero for Toronto. Monday's an off day. And then 3 straight Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against the Texas Rangers. All 3 of those games can be seen on Sportsnet as well. Time called. And so no pitch there from Andrew Bailey. Let's bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, you look at that series, 2 lefties being thrown out by Oakland, and the Blue Jays have received their fair number of lefties so far. That's allowed Cito Gaston to play guys like Millar, Barrett, as well as Jose Bautista, thus keeping the bench fresh for any pinch hit situations or regular action should they be called upon for more than 1 game in a row. And the situation with Lyle Overbay, it looks like a platoon situation, but Cito Gaston mentioned today again that it's not a platoon situation. He just wants to give Kevin Millar some at bats.
Here's Millar tapping it out to Bailey. As for that platoon, where it impacts rookie Travis Snider, Cito made it very clear that at some point Snider will be in the lineup a little more often against left-handers. For now, he wants to sit him out against lefties and give Bautista some at bats, but soon enough you will see that young man getting a regular turn even against left-handers. There's Rod Barajas, who did not start this game.
Could be just a situation with Travis Snider where they just want to work him in slowly against the certain left-handers. Maybe hold him out of the lineup, especially those that are real tough on left-handed hitters. But the situation at first, I think potentially it may end up being a platoon situation, assuming that both of them produce.
Strike called. So Barajas falls behind in the count, 1-2. Michael Barrett has suffered a shoulder injury in this ball game. And so the Blue Jays are down to their last catcher. 1-2 pitch, and he waves at it and misses. A good breaking ball from Andrew Bailey.
Bailey has shown a very good breaking ball since coming into the ball game. That's a pitch with a lot of good, hard, late bite to it.
And that brings up Jose Bautista again. 0-for-2 with a ground out and a fly out. Bailey certainly works quickly. Likes the sign from Suzuki, and here we go. 1-0. Swung on and missed. Brandon Lee has the ball, standing alongside Bruce Walton. It seems Brandon is ready to come in after Frazier pitched the sixth.
Bautista might have caught a little bit of a break. That last pitch slider from Bailey looked like it was in a pretty good spot.
Well, Jose is looking to join the home run parade. The Blue Jays have hit 21 of them this year. Bautista still looking for his first. 3-2. Pops it up. And the ball sails out of play. So it's 3-2 to Bautista. The pitch from Bailey, swung on and missed. And it's strike three. The bullpen will be well used before the end of this one. Brendan League gets a turn now after Jason Frazier goes cleanly through the 6th. Brandon 1-0 on the year, scored the victory Friday night in the Indians home opener. He's got Orlando Cabrera to deal with. It wasn't necessarily an effort on that evening to brag about. He walked one, hit a man, brought in the tying run, and got a liner from Asdrubal Cabrera, and ended up picking up the victory after the Blue Jays scored 6 runs in the 8th inning. One of those vulture-like victories. Cabrera, Giambi, and Holiday coming up for the A's, tied at 5, and we're in the 7th inning. Cabrera's a 4-time All-Star and a good defender. The A's like his ability to catch the baseball. Came up with the Expos, spent 7.5 years with Montreal. And in his one season last year with the Chicago White Sox, hit .281 with 8 home runs and 57 RBIs. Ball 4. These Jays play 2 more with the A's tomorrow and Sunday, and then 3 with Texas. For tickets, call the number you see there, 416-341-1234, and save some cash now on flex packs, suites, and group tickets. For more information, look at bluejays.com/tickets. League runs it in on Giambi.
Brandon League always had a great arm, closer type stuff. If he could ever get to where he is consistent with his command when he comes into the ball game out of the bullpen, he could really be something special.
This ball hit in the air to left field, and Bautista has a read on it, 1 gone. Cabrera had tagged, but he's going back to first.
League is just not proven yet that he can be depended on to come into the game and throw strikes. He's gotten better, but he's not quite where he needs to be to possibly someday step into a closer role.
So you're saying he could not play that role until he gained a little more control?
If there's one thing you have to be able to do as a closer, is you have to be able to come into the game and make quality pitches, throw strikes, and get ahead.
This ball hit to center field, and that's trouble. Matt Holliday has hit it up against the wall, fielded by Wells. Cabrera comes around. Here's the throw to third, and Holliday is thrown out, trying to stretch it into a triple. But in the process, Cabrera scores, and now the A's have the lead.
This is why they acquired Holliday, to swing a big bat and drive in runs, and he wastes no time taking a pretty good pitch down and away from him and driving it hard into right center. A base running mistake here. Should have never tried to move over to third base. Was clearly, with any kind of accurate throw, was going to be out.
Nomar Garcia-Parra now 0 for 3. He goes around 0-1, but yet another example here, Rance, as to how walks can kill you. Tied at 5 in the 7th, and League puts Cabrera on. He comes around to score on the extra base hit by Holliday. 6-5 Oakland. 0-2 on Garcia-Parra. to right field for Rios. And that's it for the A's in the 7th. They get one on the double and lead it by 1. The comeback kids through the early portion of the year at one point held a 5-1 lead, but it's the A's who have come back and taken a 1-run advantage as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning here at Rogers Center.
And of course that big hit for the A's was the 3-run triple by Bobby Crosby.
Crosby cleared the bases in the 4th, and now the A's in the top of this inning take the lead after a double by Matt Holliday follows a walk to Cabrera. Here's Michael Wirtz now. He'll take over for Andrew Bailey, who pitched an impressive 2 innings, didn't allow a hit, didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 4. Wirtz is now an Oakland Athletic after 5 years with the Cubs. Oh, 0-2 on Marco Scutaro. Wirtz grew up about 100 miles south of Minneapolis in Austin, Minnesota. And he got the baseball bug in 1987 watching the Twins win the World Series. And decided at the age of 13 in '91 that he wanted to be in the big leagues and patterned himself after his idol Scott Erickson. Got a very good slider. There's the fastball outside, 2-2. In fact, he said in high school, I was the guy with the black cleats, black glove, just like Erickson used to wear. Two balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball to third. Scutaro's erased 5-3.
Scott Erickson in his prime had a nasty sinker, and he threw it quite hard.
Strike 1 to Aaron Hill, and Aaron hit his 4th home run of the year in the third. A 2-run shot. At that time, it was 3-1 for the Jays. They tacked on 2 more on a 2-out hit by Kevin Millar in the third. But David Percy couldn't hold it down. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swung on and missed. 1-2. He's got a good slider.
Yes, he does. That the last one was up, and sometimes as a hitter, when you see that slider up, you anticipate it coming down, and then it will flatten out, and you swing underneath it, just as Aaron Hill did on that last pitch.
Aaron checks his swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sam Cosentino, are you there?
Well, Jamie, 5 2/3 innings pitched by Wirtz so far this year has just allowed the 2 hits. But that slider you've talked about is really his best pitch, and he's at the top of his game with it right now. He struck out 6 over those 5 2/3.
For some reason, he fell out of favor with Lou Piniella in Chicago. The A's are happy to have him. 2-2. And he breaks it off the far side of the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Question now is, if you're Wirtz, you have a hitter at the plate you know is red hot. Do you 3-2 just go ahead and make sure you challenge him, throw a fastball for a strike, or do you come back and try to get him to chase or fool him with the slider?
Wave and a miss, and a dandy of a pitch gets Hill. As Scott Downs is up and throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. Here's Alex Rios. And a fastball from Wirtz. 0-1. Nothing in 2 as he paints the fastball outside. Wirtz has never started a game. 265 of them in 5 years with the Cubs, all in relief. One-two pitch. He gets him with the slider, and there goes Rios as well. A 1-2-3 7th. Jays have 6 runs to the Blue Jays 5. So we begin the 8th inning with the left-handed power hitter Jack Cust. He'll face Brandon League. Kurt Suzuki's on deck for Oakland. Mark Ellis is in the hole. Pitch is low from League. 1 ball, no strikes. In this building, Oakland has a 56-42 1-loss record. The best mark by any visiting team in the American League here, as Cust hits it high and foul. The Athletics now in their 109th season of play, but of course that spans 3 different cities. They began as the Philadelphia A's, later became the Kansas City A's, and moved on to Oakland in the 60s. And who knows, Rance, maybe 5 years from now we'll be referring to them as the San Jose A's or the
Fremont
A's or the Fresno A's, or who knows where they're bound to move. Ownership is looking for a place to put a new stadium.
A lot of talk at one time about moving it, the ball club, to Fremont, and that fell through. Couldn't get that worked out.
I guess the Coliseum now would rank as one of the older stadiums in the big leagues. I like the place. It's cavernous, yes, home of the Raiders, but a nice ballpark.
Nice place to play because the weather, for the most part, is just about perfect. I don't like it as well since they enclosed it. They put, when it used to be open in the outfield, it had a.
There's a grounder to the shifted defense as Hill throws out Cust. Al Davis went in there and basically constructed what they call Mount Davis, and it blocked off the view of those mountains in center field. We will be in Oakland on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of May. A 3-game set, all 3 on Sportsnet. Here's Suzuki again, 1 for 3. He's flied out twice to right field and has a single. It's a critical moment in the game, too. His base hit to left field came with the runner Jack Cust from first breaking for second, so it drew Scutaro to the bag and opened up the hole for Suzuki. And with 2 on and 1 out, David Percy walked the next hitter, Mark Ellis, to load the bases. And Crosby followed with a triple.
That 3-2 count is something that's a little thing that oftentimes goes unnoticed, but it sure has factored in tonight's ball game. Anytime you can start the runner off of first base to stay out of a potential double play, sometimes it works to your advantage, and that's been the case for the Oakland A's in tonight's ball game.
League misses, and it's 3-1 on the catcher Suzuki. Smoke to center field. This ball is well hit. It's over the head of Vernon Wells and up off the wall. Suzuki doubles to center, and so he moves into scoring position with 1 away in the 8th inning.
The advantage of being ahead in the count, 3-1. Pitcher has to give in a little bit. A ball that's up, out over the plate. And Kurt Suzuki drives it hard over the head of Vernon Wells in center field, and you know it's hit hard when Vernon Wells is unable to catch up with it. And Suzuki has himself an easy double.
Mark Ellis now. He is 0 for 1 after walking a couple of times. Scored on one of those walks. Ball 1 to Ellis. He's been with the A's since 2002. A career .265 hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. He waves at that pitch, 1-1.
Ellis doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but he's a very, very good player and an outstanding defensive second baseman.
Hits it up the middle, and it sneaks through. Suzuki rounding third, no throw. And here comes a bonus run for the A's. They now lead the game 7-5.
The ball beats Ellis, jams him, breaks his bat, but this is a base hit as a result of defensive positioning.
Santiago Casilla takes a seat. Watching from the bullpen, Bobby Crosby holds off. 1-0. Crosby was the Rookie of the Year in the American League in 2004. He hit 22 home runs that year. Drove in 64. And really hasn't matched that season since. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Barajas the throw. It's not in time, so Ellis steals second.
Good jump by Mark Ellis off of first base, and of course Brandon League is pretty deliberate with his delivery to the plate. Ellis in there easily with a stolen base.
Here now the 1-1 to Crosby. And Barajas can't find it, so Ellis takes third.
Tough chance for Rod Barajas. The ball's in the dirt, a hard slider, and he does a nice job to keep it in front of him. Unfortunately, it hit the shin guard and kicked out towards the mound.
And Field's in now to try and cut down the run at third. 3 balls and a strike to Crosby. Ryan Sweeney on deck for the A's. League on the 3-1 gets a swing, 3-2. Ball 4 outside. League has walked his second man. Cito's on the phone again. .30 pitches thrown by League. Sean Camp grabs a baseball and starts to stretch. Back to the top of the order for the A's and Ryan Sweeney. And a strike thrown. Little roller out toward third. Roll into second. On to first. Not in time. Another run scores for the A's.
Ball just not hit hard enough for the Jays to be able to turn a double play, and I think Bobby Crosby might have hurt himself trying to break up the double play at second base with a hard slide. Great job by Aaron Hill to try and complete the double play.
So it's now 8-5 for Oakland. Manager Bob Guerin checking the condition of his third baseman. And here is the number 2 hitter, Orlando Cabrera. Another look. Kind of hard to tell from that angle where he hurt himself. Roland goes to second and gets the force. But the A's add a couple of more here in the 8th inning and extend their lead. It's now Oakland 8, the Blue Jays 5. Here at Rogers Center, presented by the Toronto Star. If you're eligible, kids 14 and under, you can take part in the Passport program and receive an Alex Rios bobblehead doll. BlueJays.com has ticket information. And bring a jacket. It's been a beautiful day outside today in Toronto. A little more is expected tomorrow, and rumblings have the roof being opened. I cannot confirm that, but it's a possibility. So if you're coming to the ballpark tomorrow, dress for the occasion just in case. Here's the in-game box score for the Blue Jays. They've scored 5 times on just 5 hits. The relief pitching for Oakland has been outstanding ever since Josh Outman left the game after 4. Andrew Bailey went 2 innings, didn't allow a hit, struck out 4. Michael Wirtz took care of the side in the 7th inning. He struck out a pair on a nasty slider. And now Santiago Casilla takes over, and he'll pitch the 8th for Oakland. He faces Vernon Wells. The Blue Jays trail it by 3. Grounded to short, Cabrera up and over to first. Vernon's retired, 1 gone.
Casilla with an outstanding arm, throws very hard, can touch 96, 97, has a slider in the high 80s. So he can overmatch a hitter.
Santiago Casilla used to pitch under the name of Yaro Garcia. So it's highly possible he has 2 pages on baseballreference.com. I'm not sure.
And becoming Santiago Casilla, he became 3 years older.
Oh, really? They just discovered that there were some lower digits on the passport? Well, whatever he calls himself, he's got a pretty good arm.
With this kind of arm, who cares?
Throws a strike to Adam Lind. Adam is 1 for 3. Two and one. A's pitchers have combined for a ton of strikeouts tonight. Outman had 5 before he left. Bailey picked up 4, and Michael Wirtz 2. Three and one. Fastball in, misses, ball 4. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Zenia. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Scott Brolin is 0 for 3, striking out twice and flying out to left field. The Jays begin a series here against a club in the American League West. It's the first time they've seen a team from somewhere other than the American League Central. They open the year with series victories against Detroit, Cleveland, and Minnesota most recently. That Western theme continues on Tuesday when Texas comes to town for 3. Two strikes on Roland. He taps it to third, gloved by Crosby, and he makes the play. Here's Kevin Millar with 2 gone. Ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Suzuki has to flash the signs a second time. Casilla likes it on 2-0, goes fastball away, now 3-0.
Again, another situation where if you're Bob Guerin, you have a 3-run lead in the 8th. And you put 2 aboard with walks, and now put the Jays in a situation where with 1 swing of the bat they can tie the game.
Back comes Kurt Young, the pitching coach. So 2 out now in the 8th, 2 on after walks issued by Casilla to Lind and now Millar. And Rod Barajas, who is one of the few Blue Jays looking for his first home run of the season.
And if Barajas can get aboard, that most certainly is going to give Travis Snyder an opportunity to hit here in this ball game late.
You think so?
and he's been swinging it pretty good.
Well, here's Barajas, and that's a strike. Although Cito has maintained that he will not pinch hit the rookie for a veteran late in the ball game, as much as it might make sense from a pitcher to batter standpoint. You may well see Bautista come up if Barajas is able to keep the inning going. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and he waves at it outside. 0-2. That's Brad Ziegler, who had an historical start to his big league career last year. 0-2 to Barajas. Here's the pitch from Casilla, and he goes after it, striking out. Just like that, 2 men are left. And after 8 innings of play, it's the A's by 3. So often this year we've seen the Blue Jays come from behind to take victories. In this instance, they have watched a 5-1 lead evaporate at the hands of the Oakland A's, who lead 8-5 as we enter the 9th inning. And Sean Camp becomes the 4th reliever for the Jays in this ball game. Jamie Campbell's with Rance Mulliniks and Sam Cosentino. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters will come to the plate for Oakland here, beginning with Jason Giambi. David Percy started the game for the Blue Jays. He went 3 2/3, allowed 5 runs on 4 hits, struck out 2 and walked 4. There's Giambi hitting it into the shift. Nobody covering first until Camp gets there, and the out is made 4-1. Cito Gaston was hoping he wouldn't have to utilize the bullpen that much in this ball game, knowing that Brian Tallett will probably only throw 70 to 75 pitches tomorrow. Holiday flies out, 2 gone. Cito had a good response, though, when asked about Tallett's outing tomorrow. One of the writers said, "What would you like to see from him?" in his outing. He said 70 to 75 pitches and 9 innings of work. That would be impressive. That's asking a lot. Hit to right field by Garcia Parra. Rios is there, and he drops the baseball.
It's a play that does not end up looking good for Alex Rios, but he did have quite a ways to go to get to the ball, and right up against the wall was a difficult play.
This ball popped up and over the A's dugout. Oh, and 2 to Garcia Parra. Strike 3 called, so the effort by Rios doesn't come back to hurt the Blue Jays here in the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. The Jays trail by 3. Down to Rogers Center, a 1 o'clock Eastern start, brought to you by the Fan 590. Tickets are available at BlueJays.com. Rogers Plus locations have them too. Closing for the A's is number 31, Brad Ziegler, who made history a year ago, came up to the big leagues for the first time and started his career with 39 consecutive scoreless innings. That set a post-1900 record, first established by George McQuillan of the 1907 Philadelphia Phillies. Had a great year, 3-0, a 1.06 ERA in 47 games. He saved 11. Not quite a submariner, not quite a sidearmer.
No, he's somewhere out there in between, but nonetheless very effective. And a great example with some late movement, keeping the ball down in the strike zone, that you can be successful.
Floats it in, gets a strike of Bautista, and retires the first hitter in the 9th. He kicked around the minor leagues for 5 years. In fact, his emergence last year is one of the reasons the A's felt that they could trade their closer, Houston Street, to the Colorado Rockies. and acquire Matt Holliday. Boy, things look so promising in this ball game after 3 innings with the Blue Jays up 5-1. And Scudero singled is in the center field. So Marco gets on. The Blue Jays trail by 3, 1 away, bottom of the 9th inning.
This game most certainly not over yet. A couple of big outs remain for the Jays, but you have to give the A's credit. After being down 5-1, they've battled all the way back to have an 8-5 lead, and their bullpen going into the 9th here had pitched 5 shutout innings and really turned this game around.
Adam Lind.
If Aaron Hill could somehow get aboard, Alex Rios, a pretty good low ball hitter for a right-handed hitter. Typically they handle the ball up a little better.
2 strikes on Hill. And he's not happy about it either. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. The Jays have Rios on deck. Wells would then follow. First things first, Aaron needs to get on here. 1-2. Pitch from Ziegler on the ground and foul. Last year, Ziegler induced 20 double play balls, the most by an A's reliever since that statistic was tracked for the first time in 1974. Slides it in, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Todd had the old record of 17 back in 1975. The man on first is Marco Scudero. 1 away and 2-2 on Aaron Hill. Here's the pitch up and in, almost grazed him. So Aaron, after falling behind 0-2, works it to a full count.
With the count 3-2, that's huge because now you can start Scudero off of first base to stay out of that double play and keep the inning alive. You have to believe that Aaron Hill will put the ball in play if it's a strike.
Here it comes, and it's on the ground to Cabrera, quickly to second, over to first, and the ball game ends with a double play ball. 6-4-3. It's the A's winning in the series opener, 8-5. So for Rance Mullenix and Sam Cosentino, I'm Jamie Campbell saying good night from Rogers Center. We'll see you again tomorrow.